This morning I saw a little tweet that Andrew Walters decided to throw himself into the political landscape. And I said, Self, this is why I love doing what I do, because you just never know. But I wasn't surprised by this bit of news. The last time that I sat across from Andrew was actually in a golf cart up in Pine Top last year, where the two of us were at the White Mountain Sun Devil Club event. And Andrew was going tee to green in one swing, and I was just kind of there to screw it up along the way. And we were having this conversation about, oh, what are you thinking? And where are you going? And politics was kind of, well, I might go down this path. So now you're down this path.
Yeah, that's true. I'm a glutton for punishment, Brad. I don't think the Raiders beat it out of me, so here I am. So here I am, right?
So you announced last night or this morning? Or
Correct, today.
Put it on the website? And
Yep, so we're out there.
Why? What is your thought process here?
Yeah, that's the question. Well, essentially, I'm sitting back sort of taking the measure of where we're at as a country, and I just believe we're at an extraordinary point in our history, a unique point in our history. I think never before has, the economy languished below mediocrity for this long post-recession. Never before have we spent this much and have we accumulated this much debt. Never before have our kids been failed in a failing educational system. And so in taking the measure of the situation, I really feel like, now is a time for common sense leadership. Now is a time for action. I have no interest in being a career politician, and you know me, and I'm a straight shooter. Mm-hmm. And so what we need now, more than ever, are people who are willing to tell the American people the truth, level with them, and treat them like grown-ups, because we have serious problems, and I believe it requires serious people to solve them.
And you're pretty serious.
Most of the time.
No, I know that. But so you're going to work in Congressional District 9. Who did you seek counsel on going down this path?
Well, a number of different people. I have friends who are elected officials. I have friends who were formerly elected officials, and then I have just people, family members, and people in the community who, there was a long list of people who I've come in contact with, and I'm getting married next week. And so the most important person who I've had to consult... Exactly.
Wait a second.
I don't know that you knew that.
No, wait a second. Where are you registered?
So she's...
Don't say Crate and Barrel, I'll get you a crock pot. But
that's a good question. I want to say we're doing Honey Fund. Are you aware of this, by the way?
I am just totally not. I'm
well,
not
so
in
it's
that space.
My understanding, so she's very tech savvy.
So wait a second. So you're getting married and you're announcing all within like a week.
Correct.
10 days.
Yeah.
Wow, you are a glutton for punishment.
Apparently, I'm not busy enough. So, but the person that I consulted most with would be her.
Yeah. How long have you guys known each other?
We've known each other for probably about 2.5 years. We've only dated seriously for about 10 months. We've both reached that age where we know what we want. We're both in our 30s, and I kind of feel like it's been fantastic right from the start, and we didn't want to waste any time. We wanted to start a family and get going.
I'm just curious, so District 9, there's guys driving around right now that may not even know the district that they're in. So that's what, South Phoenix, right? Ahwatukee?
So if you will permit me.
Sure.
If you go to andrewwalter2014.com.
Wow, listen to this. Nicely done.
Shameless plug, I know.
Yeah.
But if you go there, there's a map there. And so it's North Ahwatukee, it's all of Tempe, West Chandler, West Mesa, South Scottsdale, Arcadia through Phoenix to over to the 17, and then it goes north to about northern, give or take. So it's a very interesting district for sure.
It's very diverse.
Very diverse, very diverse. It's in terms of registration, it's about a third, Republicans, Democrats, and Independents. And I would say it's a very moderate district.
Where are you on all that?
Well, I just believe in an effective, efficient government that spends what it brings in. Mm-hmm. I believe in a government that promotes growth and opportunity, that embraces an economic freedom agenda where everyone benefits. And unfortunately, in the last few years, we've gotten away from that. And so, essentially, the government that what I would embrace is one that's responsible, that doesn't waste hardworking taxpayer dollars, and that educates our children. I mean, I'm starting a family. I realize the importance of that. And in Arizona, we have one of the best charter school programs in the entire country that needs to be embraced. And I think it should be an example for other states moving forward. So there are some things we're doing right. We just need to expand on them. And there are a lot of things we're doing wrong, and those need to be corrected.
Your political background, who influenced you? I mean, I talked to you about who you consulted with, but it's a different question here. Who influenced you?
Well, that's a very good question. You know, even coming up the time that I was young, I remember having conversations around the dinner table about politics and religion. One story, frankly, that stuck in my mind is a story my grandmother told me when I was very little. We used to work on their property and go in at lunch and have discussions. And she grew up in the Great Depression in Oklahoma, dirt poor. And one day she came home from school with an orange, and her dad sees it, asked her where she got it. She said, the teacher. His very next question to her, did you do any work to earn the orange? She said no. So he made her march all the way back to school to work for the teacher in order to earn the orange. And that, to me, spoke something that was so visceral, almost intuitively, instinctually, I got it, that, you know, there is a part of our souls that is nourished when we work hard and when we work for our rewards. And I believe that's a message that people get, that people understand. And, you know, there's no program, there's no substitute for that. And I think that the human soul, the human being is able to flourish when we embrace little principles like that.
How did sports help you?
Man, that is a tremendous question. At the end of the day, for me, it's all about teamwork and leadership. You know, leadership in terms of being the quarterback, being the guy who, you know, your peers put you in this role, whether they vote for you or whatnot, or you just assume it naturally. And teamwork, you know, the only way we can correct course in our country, in our businesses, in our families, you get very granular, is by working together. And that's what I think we need more than anything. Everything is so polarized now, and there's so much vitriol and emotion, and, you know, rightfully so, but I guarantee you we agree on the most important things facing us today: security, opportunity, growth, these things, you know, educating our children. These are things we can all agree on. So I find that there is a wide range of political views in this district, but on these, I think it's very fundamental, and I think that if we embrace solutions that can actually solve these problems and reject those who are interested in serving themselves, building out a nice career for themselves, otherwise known as career politicians, then we can start making some headway. I truly believe that.
Andrew Walter with us in studio today, announcing that he is running for Congress, District 9. Your website again is?
AndrewWalter2014.com. Thank you.
And on the athletic side, let me follow that further. I would assume that along the ways you have coaches that reach down and spark this within you too, because the leadership aspect of a quarterback, we all know that it's there, but who are some of those coaches?
Absolutely. I could go back to high school and talk about Coach Schaefer. I could talk about Coach Rocky Whitworth, and then in college, Dirk Cutter. You know, with the Oakland Raiders, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Mark Helfrich. He's the new head coach at Oregon. He was our quarterback coach over here at ASU. John DeFilippo with the Raiders. He's currently their quarterback coach. I would mention Greg Knapp. He was our offensive coordinator with the Raiders. One of the biggest compliments I received were, you know, we used to talk politics in the quarterback room quite a bit before we would actually do our work.
And before the politics took place on the field, but that's what the Raiders, but go ahead.
Right. So exactly. And he's the son of educators. His parents were both teachers. And he just assumed I'm a Democrat, you know, and I vote this way. He still is a Democrat, but in 2008 in the election, he said, you know, you really caused me to just think about some things. And I told him, it's not me. You know, you were the one with the open mind, and you were the one that went and sought information. And he cast a vote that I would argue would be the right vote at the time. And that was a heck of a compliment. But a guy like that, I can't tell you how much I respect, because he just put aside everything and he said, you know what, I just want to get down to the nub of this. And for him, it was all about trust. Who can I trust? You know, at the end of the day, in the Oval Office or in Congress, who can I trust? And so we had a lot of lively discussions.
How about former teammates? I mean, you're in locker rooms and you transitioned out early from the NFL, and you and I have talked about that through the years, but you had the game hit out of you, essentially, for lack of a better term. I'm not overstating that, am I?
No, I think that's absolutely accurate.
Yeah. So former teammates that may have impacted you to get to this point.
You know, I think of guys over at ASU, Ricardo Stewart. I think of Connor Banks, Drew Hodgson.
Those were misfits, by the way.
We
but
all
good
were,
dudes.
We all were misfits.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But we've grown up. Ricardo's a pastor over at Redemption Tempe, and so we've matured over the years, much like fine wine. I'm sure you're very familiar with that.
Yeah, I am actually. Are you ready to have arrows thrown your direction? I mean, you've had defensive ends come at you, especially with the Raiders. You had lots of defensive linemen, and you had full-out blitzes. Are you ready for that? Because you're in the world of politics now. You're going to have people come after you.
And it'll get very personal and very ugly. And you know what? That's why more people don't run. And it's an incredibly unfortunate symptom of the culture where we're at. You know, I think back to 2002 Holiday Bowl against Kansas State. In the first quarter of that game, I took a shot to my lower back and I broke 3 vertebrae. And I stayed in the game. Because, well, maybe because I'm a numbskull, but you know, because it's about toughness and leadership. And so, you know, I just feel like what we need now more than anything are people willing to take those shots, you know, for those who do not have a voice, you know, for those who want to see this country prosper again and who want opportunities for themselves and for their children. And so I'm willing to suffer those. And quite frankly, it's not a fraction of what many people who are struggling, who are out of work, who have massive debts coming out of college and not having to move home with their parents. The way I see it is whatever is said about me pales in comparison to what people are feeling. And that's, at the end of the day, what drives me.
Appreciate you coming in.
Thanks, Brad. I appreciate it. Good to see you.
Yeah, good seeing you. Let's see
Great
each other a
digs
little more
here, by
often.
the way.
Yeah, they let anybody in this place. We're doing our thing.
You need to put a security lock on your door.
No, now you let everybody know. Nice. Andrew Walter with us. He is now running for Congress. Your website again?
Would be AndrewWalter2014.com.
Well done. Back with more after this time out.